And we're back. Yes, if you want to donate, please hit the link bit.ly/trektime23 and you can donate to a good cause, that is the International Rescue Committee. And please, even if you can't give more than $1, $2, $3, it's a brilliant cause to try and do from. And if you can't donate, if you're physically unable, please go and spread the word. This link will be available for a little while longer after the show, so it's not just live now. Do what you can to help spread the word of the International Rescue Committee and help us here raise funds for it. I believe we've got some more donations, Otto.
Yes, we have a donation, incredible, from a big donation from Davey, who says, from your favorite quiz master. We should be paying these people to come on the show. Not only do they come on, but they donate to a great cause. So thank you very much, Dave. You can find them at TrekSportsQuiz.com.
Absolute unit. What a lovely man.
The link is in chat. So thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you, Davey. You've been an absolute pleasure. So, no, brilliant. Love your work. I believe we owe a reading of HMS Pinafore, a sung version of HMS Pinafore from the three of us, Auto Stars and myself. So this is gonna be fun. Where should we start from? Shall we start from Mr.
You
Worf?
know where you should start from.
Yeah, okay. Mr. Worf, do you know Gilbert and Sullivan?
Well, hold on.
No, sir, I have. No.
I got.
Oh, okay.
Yes, Otto?
I saw more dialogue in chat. I didn't realize where we were.
Thank you, Peter, for subscribing. Good man. Right.
Thank you very much, man.
I will start again. Mr. Worf, do you know Gilbert and Sullivan?
No, sir, I have not had a chance to meet all the new crew members since I have been back.
The composers, Worf, from the 19th century. Data was rehearsing a production of HMS Pinafore just before he left. A British star is a soaring soul, as free as the mountain bird. His energetic fist should be ready to resist a dictatorial word. Sing, Worf, sing. His nose should pat.
His lip should curl.
His cheek should flame.
And his brow should furl.
His bosom should heave.
And his heart should glow.
And his fist be
ready
for a knockdown
blow.
His nose should pant and his should curl, his cheek should flame, and his brow should furl, his bosom should heave, his heart should glow, and his fist be ever ready for a
knockdown blow.
There we go.
Oh, come on, this boy.
Prepare the docking clamps.
His eye should flash with an inborn fire, his brow with scorn be wrong. He never should bow down to a domineering frown,
or the tang of a tyrant tongue. His heart should stamp,
and his throat should growl.
His hair should twirl,
and his face should scowl.
His eyes should fash,
and his breast protrude.
And this should be his customary attitude. His foot should stamp and his throat should growl. His hair should curl.
And there you go. Affection.
Perfectly in time.
Perfectly in fashion. And that brings us nicely to our next section, which is going to be table readings. Us, the six of us here, are going to sit around the table and recant some of our favourite scenes from Star Trek over the next hour, and maybe go through some of those other donation goals that we missed and do some other stuff. But we have all
of them from Star Trek 3 and 4, by the way.
Never going to live that down, are you?
Yeah. Our favourite episodes.
Absolutely right.
A couple more donations have come in, and yet another one from Cranky. It says, maybe I should have donated this before the quiz for more lenient questions. Well, Cranky, you did pretty well. So.
No, thank you.
And a very large donation from Danger Van, who says, thanks, Chance. I can't attend today, but I appreciate all you're doing for not only the charity, but the Timelines community. Thank you, sir.
We appreciate you. Thank you.
And that means we passed our 2,200 goal, which is chat makes up a rule of acquisition. And we have to abide by said rule of acquisition.
Okay. Well, chat, you've got your assignment.
Yep. You come up with
marching
stuff.
orders.
Right. This is something I hope we can incorporate into all future Timeline Talks episodes. So try to keep it clean, keep it funny, and we'll go from there.
Okay. Shall we start top of the order with Risk is Our Business? Playing the parts in this particular scene, we have Shireporn as, fittingly, Captain Kirk, Frank will be playing the role of Scotty. Otto will be playing the role of McCoy. Stars will be playing the role of Spock. I will be playing the role of Dr. Anne Mulhall. And the narrator, Big McLarge Huge.
It should be noted that Otto added the first part of this scene. This was originally just going to be the conference room, but yeah.
Okay.
So.
Kirk convulses briefly, and the sphere holding Sargon has dimmed a lot.
Lungs fill with air again. To see again. Heart pumping, arteries surging with blood again. 500,000 years to be again. Your captain has an excellent body, Dr. McCoy. I compliment you both on the condition in which you maintained it.
What are your plans for it? Can you exchange places again when you wish?
Have no fear. Your captain is quite unharmed, although his mind generates insufficient energy for him to speak from there as I do.
Doctor?
Yes, I have the same readings.
Are you aware of what's happening to his body? Heart action doubled. Temperature 104 degrees.
He'll die if you don't leave his body. Soon.
What is it you want from us?
In the next room there are other receptacles. The other two of us that survived. You, Dr. Anne Mulhall, and you, Mr. Spock. We require your bodies also. We must have Captain Kirk and you so that we may live again.
In the briefing room.
You're going to what? Are they all right in the head, Doctor?
No comment.
Symbol transference. Their minds and ours.
Quite simple. Happens every day.
Scotty, I need your approval too, since you'll work with them, furnishing them all they need to make the android bodies. You won't be working with them, you'll be working with us, our bodies. But they'll be inside us, and we'll be...
It all seems rather indecent to me.
I'm not so certain of that, Doctor. It is scientifically fascinating.
Once inside their mechanical bodies, Engineer, they can leave this planet, travel back with us. With their knowledge, mankind could leap ahead 10,000 years.
Bones, they'll show us medical advances, miracles you never dreamed of. Scotty, engineering advances, vessels this size, with engines the size of walnuts.
Joking.
No, he's not.
Are giants, and we're insects beside them. They could destroy us without meaning to. And all he wants is the body of our captain and our second in command, too. Coincidence?
They selected us as the most compatible bodies.
What's your attitude on that, Doctor?
Well, if we all agree, I'm willing to host Thalassa's mind. I'm a scientist. The opportunity is an extraordinary one for experimentation, observation.
A starship engine the size of a walnut? That's impossible. But I don't suppose there'd be any harm in looking over the diagrams of it, sir.
Bones, you could stop all this by saying no. That's why I called all of you here together. We'll all be deeply involved. It must be unanimous.
And I'll still want one question answered to my satisfaction. Why? Not a list of possible miracles, but a basic, simple, understandable why that overrides all danger. And let's not kid ourselves that there's no potential danger in this.
They used to say if man could fly, he'd have wings. But he did fly. He discovered he had to. Do you wish that the first Apollo mission hadn't reached the moon? Or that we hadn't gone on to Mars and then to the nearest star? That's like saying you wished you still operated with scalpels and sewed your patients up with catgut like your great-great-great-great-grandfather used to. I'm in command. I could order them. But I'm not. Because Dr. McCoy is right in pointing out the enormous danger potential in any contact with life and intelligence as fantastically advanced as this. But I must point out that the possibilities, the potential for knowledge and advancement is equally great. Risk is our business. That's what this starship's all about. That's why we're aboard her. You may dissent without prejudice. Do I hear a negative vote? Engineer, stand by to beam aboard 3 receptacles. And see.
You could play Kirk in some sort of production. I don't know what that would be. Certainly,
musical production?
Con the Musical, coming soon. $25 tickets available now. Go to conthemusical.com.
Coniscoming.com also.
Okay. Our next scene is from the Lal episode, and it's a life data. The part
Offspring.
of
The Offspring.
the Offspring.
Yes.
Sorry. The part of Picard
One of
will
my
be
favourite
played
episodes.
by Automaton 2000. The part of Data will be played by Frank.
I apologize ahead of time. I have a lot of Picard lines, and it's going to get ugly. All right, the accent's going to shift all over the place. So,
Perfect.
what you have done will have serious ramifications. I'm truly dismayed that you told no one of what you were doing.
I am sorry, Captain. I did not anticipate your objections. Do you wish me to deactivate LOL?
It's a life data. It can't be activated and deactivated simply. This is a most stupendous undertaking. Have you any idea what will happen when Starfleet learns about this?
I have followed all of Starfleet regulations to the best of my ability. I expected they would be pleased.
Well, you have taken on quite a responsibility, Data.
To prepare, I have scanned all available literature on parenting. There seems to be much confusion on this issue. One traditional doctrine insists, spare the rod and spoil the child, suggesting a punitive approach, while another more liberal attitude would allow the child enormous freedoms.
Data.
And what Klingons do to their children,
Data. I'm not talking about parenting. I'm talking about the extraordinary consequences of creating new life.
does that not describe becoming a parent, sir?
Data, you are seeking to achieve what only your own creator has been able to achieve, to make another functioning, sentient android, to make another Data.
That is why I must attempt this, sir. I have observed that in most species, there is a primal instinct to perpetuate themselves. Until now, I have been the last of my kind. If I were to be damaged or destroyed, I would be lost forever. But I am successful with the creation of Lao. My continuance is assured. I understand the risk, sir, and I am prepared to accept the responsibility.
And seeing.
Very nice, very nice.
Very good.
Oh, we've costume changed, though.
Well, I didn't have a lavender and gray onesie to slip into, sadly. But
No snoods, unfortunately.
yeah. So the next scene is I'm only an android from.
I think
The
you muted
toys?
Idle.
Oh, my
Yes, from the most toys.
No, Idle is
Must-
muted.
Oh, I don't know most toys.
Sorry. Sorry, yes, no, we just had another donation from Transporter Murderer Genos Idanian Rand. He's given a generous. He says, "Gentlemen, this is among the top 3 Trek Time, formerly known as Timelines Talks, charity streams I've ever seen. For Podcast listeners, thank you for being the most influential players in the history of Star Trek timelines, and be sure to count your sinks."
Thank you, Janos. We
Thank
appreciate you.
Janos. Yes, the next scene is I am only an android. The part of Data will be played by Shireporn. Varia will be played by Big. Kivas Fajo will be played by Automaton. O'Brien, Stars. Riker will be played by Frank, and I shall be the narrator.
Perhaps I should attempt to communicate with the Enterprise.
You can't. Fajo has communications access restricted to the bridge. Once we're out, the shuttle pod will emit emergency beacon. We'll just have to hope somebody responds before Fajo is able to destroy us.
I am trained in evasive maneuvers.
We'll need a few. Let's get going. As soon as I start the escape sequence, an alarm will sound. We won't have much time.
Data gets in the shuttle pod. Varia goes to a control station and presses buttons. The alarm sounds. A man runs in. She points the disruptor at him, then is jumped from behind by another crewman and disarmed. Man number 1 cancels the sequence while Data rescues Varia. Data ends up throwing both men across the bay. They go to start again when Fajo enters. The disruptor is lying on the floor. Varia dives for it, but lands short. Fajo aims another disruptor at her. For a moment, he starts to turn away, then fires. Varia screams for several seconds before she finally disintegrates. Data comes out of the pod.
It's your fault. You knew the price for disobedience. And so did she. Well, there's always another Varia.
Data picks up the disruptor and points it at Fajo.
You won't hurt me. Fundamental respect for all living beings. That's what you said. I'm a living being. Therefore, you can't harm me.
You will surrender yourself to the authorities.
Or what? He'll fire. Empty threat, and we both know it. Why don't you accept your fate? You will return to your chair and you will sit there. You will entertain me and you'll entertain my guests. And if you do not, I will simply kill someone else. Him, perhaps. It doesn't matter. Their blood will be on your hands too, just like poor Varia's. Your only alternative, Data, is to fire. Murder me. That's all you have to do. Go ahead, fire. If only you could feel rage over Varia's death. If only you could feel the need for revenge, then maybe you could fire, but you're just an android. You can't feel anything, can you? It's just another interesting intellectual puzzle for you, another of life's curiosities.
I cannot permit this to continue.
He levels the disruptor at Fajo again.
Wait, your program won't allow you to fire. You cannot fire. No!
A transporter beam takes hold of Data. Transporter room.
I'm reading a weapon in transit with Commander Data. Appears to have discharged, sir.
Discharged?
I'm deactivating it.
Well, welcome back, Mr. Data. Are you all right?
Yes, Commander. Please arrange to take Kivas Fajo into custody on charges of murder, kidnapping, theft.
The arrangements have already been made.
A Veron T disruptor. It belongs to Fajo.
Mr. O'Brien says the weapon was in a state of discharge.
Perhaps something occurred during transport, Commander.
Brig.
Oh, if you come to see me repent, is this your final satisfaction? Want to see me beg for mercy? You're not going to get any of that from me.
I expected nothing.
Our roles are reversed, aren't they, Data? You're the collector now. Me, I'm in a cage.
So it seems.
Just don't count me out too quickly. I had you in my collection once. I can have you there again.
Unlikely, sir. Your collection has been confiscated. All of your stolen possessions are being returned to their rightful owners. You have lost everything you value.
It must give you great pleasure.
No, sir. It does not. I do not feel pleasure. I am only an android.
And scene.
Spiner's so good in that moment.
He's really, really good.
he just nails.
He epitomizes it, he really does.
Perhaps
now I just
something
need to wait
occurred
for...
during transport, Commander. Yeah, sure, Data.
Perhaps
Yeah,
I did, yeah.
O'Brien's like,
That's bullshit.
like, I'm some sort of idiot? You think I'm an idiot, Data?
Don't worry, I'll cover up your murder just casually.
That's right. I mean, he is a Cardassian war veteran. He understands.
It's true, he understands the brutal arithmetic.
Okay, from the best Star Trek movie out there, Cybok starts to break down the walls, not of shockery, but of emotion. We have Frank playing Cybok, stars as Kirk, Shyporn as McCoy, Big McLarge as McCoy's dying father, and Captain Idle as Spock.
I'm supposed to be in a bathrobe. Shakari. The source. Heaven. Eden. Call it what you will. The Klingons call it Quitu. To the Romulans, it's Vortavor. The Andorian word is unpronounceable. Still, every culture shares this common dream of a place from where creation sprang. For us, that place will soon be a reality.
The only reality I see is that I'm a prisoner on my own ship. What is this power that you have to control the minds of my crew?
I don't control minds. I free them.
How?
By making you face your pain and draw your strength from it. Once that's done, fear cannot stop you.
Sounds like brainwashing to me.
Your pain is the deepest of all.
What?
I can feel it. Can't you?
Leonard.
This is some kind of trick.
Leonard.
Father. Oh my God. Don't do this to me.
Leonard.
I'm here, Dad. I'm with you, Dad.
The pain. Stop the pain.
I've done everything I can do. You've got to hang on.
I can't stand the pain. Help me.
All my knowledge. I can't save him.
You've done all that you can. The support system will keep him alive.
You call this alive?
Son. Release me.
I can't do that, Dad. But how can I watch him suffer like this?
You're a doctor.
I'm his son.
McCoy turns off the life support.
Why did you do it?
To preserve his dignity.
That wasn't the worst of it, was it?
No.
Was it? Share it.
Not long after, they found a cure. A goddamn cure!
If you hadn't killed him, he might have lived.
No! I love my father. I released him.
And you did what you thought was right.
Yes. No.
Release the pain. Release it. This pain has poisoned your soul for a long time. Now you've taken the first step. The other steps we'll take together. Each man's pain is unique.
I hide no pain.
I know you better than that.
Do you?
Spock, don't.
It's all right, Captain. Proceed.
Young Amanda screams.
What is this?
I believe we are witnessing my birth.
The Vulcan priestess hands Sarek his son.
Do we have
So
a Sarek?
human.
We don't have a Sarek.
So human.
So human.
So human.
Spock? What have you done to my friends?
I've done nothing. This is who they are. Didn't you know that?
No, I didn't.
Now, learn something about yourself.
No, I refuse.
Jim, try to be open about this.
About what? That I've made the wrong choices in my life? That I turned left when I should have turned right? I know what my weaknesses are. I don't need Cybok to take me on a tour of them.
If you just...
To be brainwashed by this con man?
I was wrong. This con man took away my pain.
Damn it, Bones, you're a doctor. You know the pain and guilt can't be taken away with a wave of a magic wand. The things we carry with us, the things that make us who we are. If we lose them, we lose ourselves. I don't want my pain taken away. I need my pain.
Cybok.
Cyborg.
Says Cybok.
Captain, I'm afraid you'll have to remain here. Spock, Dr. McCoy, come with me. Spock,
I cannot go with you.
why not?
I belong here.
I do not understand.
Cybok, you are my brother, but you do not know me. I am not the outcast boy you left behind those many years ago. Since that time, I found myself in my place, and I know who I am. I cannot go with you.
I guess you'd better count me out, too.
Then I'll see you on the other side.
Wait. You know we'll never make it through the Great Barrier.
What if we do? Will that convince you that my vision was true?
What vision?
Given to me by my God. He waits for me on the other side.
You are mad.
Am I? We'll see.
Scene. Wonderful. Now, can we do that
Well,
again
very
with the
nice.
Sean Connery
Very nice.
Cybok?
Share
Thank you,
your
Rev.
pain with me. A donation come in from I'm a Doctor who says, I joined Timelines many moons ago and expected to find a game. Little did I know I'd find a compassionate community. Thanks for the organization and efforts, my friends. Good times, great cause, phenomenal human beings.
No, thank you very much.
you.
Thank you for your
Actually,
donation.
that hits right here. Thank you.
No,
Yeah,
thank you
let us
very
know if anyone finds the game, actually. That would be a great
much. Oh no, I just lost the
Coming
game.
up next in our next segment with Wicked Realm Games,
I'm joking.
developers of Star Trek Timelines.
Oh, well, they know what
Stay
we're
tuned.
like. They know what we're like. Okay, our next scene is from Season 3 of Star Trek Discovery. Unlike the Terran Empire, which is starring myself as Dr. Kovich and Shia as Empress Giorgio. You're curious about my badge.
I'm bored. I thought I could break it down for parts.
Play with it.
Giorgio steps on the communicator, breaking it.
It's clear, Emperor, what you're capable of. What's not clear to me is why you chose to come here.
I have a curious nature.
Really? April 5th is my birthday.
A Terran holy day.
April 5th, 2063. First ever contact between Terrans and a Vulcan survey ship. But then your people slaughtered everyone on board.
Vulcans need to learn to stay in their lane sometimes. And it's not like it's a high holy day.
I've been fascinated by Terran history and methodology since I was a boy. There are very few species that do things simply to do them.
We're mostly untroubled by pesky motivation. Except for revenge. We do like that one.
It seems you've created an empire based on the maxim, because we feel like it. So why would you ever join a Starfleet crew? If you simply wanted to butcher them, you would have.
Much as I enjoy being fetishized, and I do, I'll answer your questions if you answer mine first.
No, you won't really do that.
Correct.
And even if you did, you lie. So the only way I'll glean any information is via the questions you ask me, so please.
Who's really in charge now? The burn appeared to be quite the humbling experience for the Federation. Who was responsible?
That's 2 questions.
Pick one.
There are conflicting theories, but no hard proof pointing to any one particular bad guy.
Sounds like the Federation lost a step. Or 5.
And yet it endures. Unlike the Terran Empire, which fell centuries ago. Were you aware that the distance between our 2 universes started expanding sometime after your departure? There hasn't been a single crossing in over 500 years. You didn't know that, did you? You're all alone now.
I think you and the Federation are afraid. Because whoever did this must be merciless. A threat to whatever or whomever you hold dear. The weakness of people is generally other people, isn't it?
You're not wrong. But that could also explain why you'd fall in line with Discovery. There's a person on the crew you care about, isn't there? Scene. I enjoyed that.
I'll
Scene.
fetishize Shy any day.
Can't wait for the Section 31 movie. It's gonna be awesome.
Yes.
I'm looking forward to it.
If it happens.
It'll happen. Have faith of the heart.
Yes, so just a reminder to everyone, if you want to donate, bit.ly/trektime23, please give as little or as much as you can, or tell a friend who can give if you can't. So, we are fast reaching our next giveaway at $2,400, which is, this is remarkable. We're nearly at the same level we were at the last couple of years. So that's third year in a running over $2,000 is just brilliant so far. I'm amazingly happy.
You guys.
Eldor Joy.
Yes, Eldor Joy. Yes, do the Frankie dance for that. The trouble with Tribbles. Myself as Captain Kirk. How did that happen? How did I end up as Kirk? Oh, God.
Everyone gets to go.
Okay.
Everyone get to go with Kirk.
Oh, I'm going to do a terrible Kirk. Okay. The guard is played by Frank. Spock is played by Shy. Barris is Otto. The narrator is Big.
I added you late, Big, because I realized there's some directions.
Right. I can do it. Storage compartments.
Is that door secure?
You're muted, Frank. And once more from the top.
Is that door secure?
Yes, sir. Nothing can get in.
Good. Open it.
It's not working, sir. It seems to be stuck.
Here, let me try it.
But he can't open it either. So we tried one of the overhead doors instead. That does open, and a whole load of tribbles fall out, burying the gallant captain up to his shoulders. Spock examines one.
They seem to be gorged.
Gorged on my grain? Kirk, I'm going to hold you responsible. There must be thousands of them.
Hundreds of thousands.
1,771,561. That's assuming one tribble multiplying with an average litter of 10, producing a new generation every 12 hours over a period of 3 days.
That's assuming they got here 3 days ago.
And allowing for the amount of grain consumed and the volume of the storage compartment.
Kirk, you should have known. You're responsible for turning the development project into a total disaster.
Mr. Barris.
And I'm through being intimidated, Kirk. You have insulted me. You have ignored me. You've walked all over me. You've abused your authority, and you've rejected my requests. And this is the result. I'm going to hold you responsible.
Mr. Barris, I'll hold you in irons if you don't shut up. Who's McCoy?
Oh, we didn't cast him McCoy, goddammit.
Jim,
Stars, you're McCoy.
Go. You're McCoy.
Jim.
Yeah.
Okay.
Jim, I think I've got it. All we have to do is quit feeding them. We quit feeding them, they stop breeding.
Now he tells me.
Captain, this tribble is dead, and so are these.
A lot of them are dead. A lot of them are alive, but they won't be for long.
The logical assumption is that there's something in the grain.
Yes, Bones, I want the tribbles, the grain, everything analyzed. I want to know what killed these tribbles.
I haven't figured it out yet, what keeps them alive. All right. If I find out anything, I'll let you know.
McCoy leaves.
That isn't going to do you any good, Kirk. This project is ruined, and Starfleet is going to hear about it. And when they do, they will have a board of inquiry, and they will roast you alive. And I'm going to be there, Kirk, to enjoy every minute of it.
Until that inquiry, I'm still the captain, and as captain, I want two things done. First, find Cyrano Jones, and second,
As another tribble hits him on the head.
close that door.
Very nice. Excellent, Barris.
Very good.
Gorged on my grain?
Excellent Gidget's mom there.
Ah,
Cranky asks, was that Barris or was that Mark Twain? Oh, why have we not got a Times Arrow? Oh, no, we do have a Times Arrow scene in it, but why don't we have one
We
with
have
Mark
one,
Twain?
yeah.
We have a Tizer.
Yes. Okay. Our next scene is from The Wounded, and I will be playing the part of Captain Picard, and Otto will be playing the part of Maxwell. Captain,
Pleasure, Captain.
please sit down.
You must think I've gone mad.
The thought had occurred.
Picard, I have to tell you, I was grateful when I realized it was you Starfleet sent after me. Somebody who really knows what it's like out here.
I know of nothing out here that could possibly justify what you have done.
And listen to this. The Cardassians are arming again. That so-called science station? Military supply port.
How do you know this?
Information comes my way.
From whom? Where is your documentation?
I know what they're doing. I can smell it. There's no good reason for a science station in the Qualar system, but it's a hell of a strategic site for a military transport station. A jumping off point into 3 Federation sectors. They're running supply ships back and forth, and nobody's going to tell me it's for scientific research.
But whatever circumstances you encountered, why didn't you notify Starfleet?
Wait 6 months while the bureaucrats sit around reading reports, trying to figure out what to do? They don't know what's going on out here, but you should, Picard. You should know what it's like to be under fire.
You weren't under fire.
Lives were at stake.
Whose lives?
We had to act now.
Why?
It smells musty in here. Like a bureaucrat's office.
You have killed nearly 700 people, and you have taken us to the brink of war.
I have prevented war. Or at the very least delayed it a good long time. The peace treaty was a ruse to give them breathing room, time to regroup.
And so all alone you decided to dispose of the treaty.
I took the initiative. I did what had to be done.
What had to be done? For whom? Why does a man with a long and brilliant service abandon the fundamental principles that he has believed in, even fought for all his life? I believe it is because of what they did to your wife and your children.
Not true, not true.
To avenge their deaths.
You're a fool, Picard. History will look at you and say this man was a fool.
And I'll accept the judgment of history.
When it becomes clear what the Cardassians have done, I will be vindicated.
What the Cardassians have or have not done is irrelevant.
Irrelevant? Come with me. Find one of their supply ships and we'll see how irrelevant it is.
We're not going after any more Cardassian ships. You're going to return to your bridge and set course for Starbase 211. The Phoenix and the Enterprise will return to Federation space together. Those are Starfleet's orders. I will permit you the dignity of retaining your command during the voyage. The only alternative is to put you in the brig and to tow your ship back to Starbase in disgrace.
I'll return to my ship.
You understand your orders?
Yes, Captain.
Mr. Worf, report to my ready room. My guest is departing. Scene. Path 1. I nearly chose the...
on my great Picard!
I nearly chose the one with O'Brien and the Cardassian. I nearly did that one, but...
I really like the one with O'Brien and the and Picard in the transporter room about old other.
Yeah.
I like that one a lot.
Oh.
It's not you I hate, Cardassian. I hate what I became because of you. It's great.
Okay, since we haven't had enough pros and cons yet today, we'll do the Q's courtroom encounter at Farpoint. Yes. Shy Porn, are you ready? He's playing.
Yes, I'm ready.
Short
Yes.
round. Okay, the bailiff / soldier with the little cowbell that he wiggles. Frank as Data, Automaton as Picard, Stars as Counselor Troy, Idle as Q himself, Frank as Tasha Yar, and Big narrating this.
I'll also do the soldier, by the way. I'm also going to do the soldier.
Okay.
Yeah.
Courtroom. The crew find themselves in a room with a noisy audience. One of the future soldiers that Q pretended to be fires his machine gun for silence. An Oriental man takes charge.
The prisoners will all stand!
Picard sits down.
Fuck, I can't read.
Historically intriguing, Captain. Very, very accurate.
21st century, the post-atomic horror.
All present, stand and make respectful attention to honored judge.
Careful, sir. This is not an illusion or a dream.
But these courts happened in the past.
I don't understand either, but this is real.
Get to your feet, criminals!
From the distance, a spotlight reveals a figure approaching, dressed in red, and sitting on a throne carried on hydraulics for effect.
At least we are acquainted with the judge, Captain.
Q gestures the crowd to sit.
Attention! On your feet, attention!
Tasha disarms him.
You are out of order.
Another soldier kills him.
The prisoners will not be harmed until they are found guilty. Dispose of that.
Can we assume you mean this will be a fair trial?
Oh, yes. Absolutely equitable. Proceed.
Before the gracious court now appear these prisoners to answer for the multiple and grievous savageries of the species. How plead you, criminal?
If I may, Captain. Objection, Your Honor. In the year 2036, the new United Nations declared that no Earth citizen could be made to answer for these crimes of his race or forebears.
Objection denied. This is the court of year 2079, by which time more rapid progress had caused all United Earth nonsense to be abolished.
Tasha, no.
I must, because I grew up on a world that allowed things like this court, and it was people like this that saved me from it. This so-called court should not get down on its knees to what Starfleet is, what it represents.
Q freezes Tasha.
Marion, this woman has done nothing at all.
Criminals, keep silence!
You've got a lot to learn about humans if you think you can torture us or frighten us into silence. Will she live?
Uncertain. When he froze Lieutenant Torres on the bridge, we had our sickbay to help thaw him out.
You will answer the charges, criminals.
Or what? Or this? Her death? Or worse? You promise the prisoners will not be harmed. We plead nothing so long as you break your own rules.
I suggest you center your attention on this trial, Captain. It may be your only hope.
I suggest you are now having second thoughts about it. You're considering that if you conduct a fair trial, which was your promise, you may lose.
Lose!
Yes, even though you're judge and prosecutor.
And jury.
Accepted. So long as you keep to your agreement. God, that accent. And assaulting prisoners is hardly a fair trial.
This is a merciful court.
Tasha is thawed.
Silence! Continuing these proceedings, I must caution you that legal trickery is not permitted. This is a court of...
Court of fact. We humans know our past, even when we're ashamed of it. I recognize this court system as the one that agreed with that line from Shakespeare, kill all the lawyers.
Which was done.
Leading to the rule, guilty until proven innocent.
Of course, bringing the innocent to trial would be unfair. You will now answer to the charge of being a grievous savage race.
Grievously savage could mean anything. I'll only answer specific charges.
Are you certain you want the full disclosure of human ugliness? So be it, fool. Present the charges.
Criminal, you will read the charges to the court.
Picard takes his time to read the pad that is handed to him, then gives it back.
I see no charges against us, Your Honor.
The rabble are discontented.
You are out of order!
Guns are placed at Data and Troy's heads.
Soldiers, you will press those triggers if this criminal answers with any other word than guilty.
Criminal, how plead you?
Dramatic break to commercial.
Dun, dun,
Guilty.
dun.
Guilty. Provisionally.
The court will hear the provision.
We question whether this court is abiding by its own trial instructions. Have I your permission to have Commander Data repeat the record?
There'll be no legal
I'm
trickery.
losing it. These will be your own words, Your Honor. What exactly followed His Honor's statement that the prisoner will not be harmed?
Yes, sir. The captain had asked the question. Can we assume you mean this will be a fair trial? And in reply, the judge stated, yes, absolutely equitable.
Irrelevant testimony, entirely irrelevant.
All right. We agree that there is evidence to support the court's contention that humans have been savage. Therefore, I say test us. Test whether this is presently true of humans.
I see. I see. And so you petition the court to accept you and your comrades as proof of what humanity has become?
There must be many ways we can be tested. We have a long mission ahead of us.
Another brilliant suggestion, Captain. But your test hardly requires a long mission. Your immediate destination offers far more challenge than you can possibly imagine. Yes, this Far Point station will be an excellent test.
All present, respectfully stand.
This trial is adjourned to allow the criminals to be tested.
This honorable court is adjourned. I have one job in this court. Stand respectfully.
Captain, you may find you are not nearly clever enough to deal with what lies ahead of you. It may have been better to accept sentence here. Scene.
Incredible.
I'm always without words about Shy. And then he does something that makes me go, oh my God.
He is incomparable.
Oh, very good, very good, very, very, very good. We are cracking through these. Reminder, people tuning in, just watching, you can donate at bit.ly/TrekTime23. My lack of sleep is catching up to me, and I've now got my second win, and I'm going hyperactive. Perfect.
Affection.
Next scene, Mrs. Carmichael. The part of LaForge
From
Time's Arrow will be played by stars. I shall be playing the role as Councillor Troy. Riker will be played by Big McLarge Hughes. Data will be played by Frank. Mrs. Carmichael will be played by Automaton 2000. Picard will be played by Shy, and the narrator also Auto.
In a rented room.
If we tune a phaser to the approximate frequency of triolic waves and lay down a field burst, it might respond.
The phaser shot turns the cane head into a writhing snake's head.
The Ophidian the aliens were carrying.
The snake head sends off energy charges before reverting back to the cane.
What the?
These look like minute distortions in the space-time continuum, like the one we saw in Davidia 2.
They were so small, and they lasted only a second.
The aliens appear to be to concentrate the distortion and direct it to a specific time and place.
We did
not have
concentrate.
Damn it.
Maybe they have something, a mechanism that focuses it.
Just like the show.
Any device like that would produce significant levels of triolic waves, like the ones in the cavern where Data's head was found.
I have located the cavern.
Knocking on the door in frantic activity. Pickard, I know you're in there. Open the door.
Mrs. Carmichael.
How now, spirit? Whither wander you?
Over hill, over dale, through bush, through briar.
Mrs. Carmichael, thank goodness you're here.
We need someone to read a part. You're just in time.
Mr. Pickard, I need to be talking to you.
My mistress would that he be gone. Ill met by moonlight, proud Titania.
Now, Mrs. Carmichael, right there.
Ill met by moonlight, proud Titania.
What jealous Obadon feddies skip hence? I have forsworn his bed and company.
Oh. Well, I don't think we need to hear any more. That was truly unique.
Really?
Ladies and gentlemen, I think we have found our Titania. Don't you agree?
Well, I did do a church play when I was a lass.
Well, there you are. We start rehearsals tomorrow.
Picard kisses her on both cheeks, and she turns into a simpering girl.
That's the stage direction. She turns into a simpering girl.
It is now.
You just read the lines in the script.
Yep. Okay, our next scene. Very soon, 15 minutes, we'll be heading over to WRG soon and talking to them. But first, we have to do Ship in a Bottle, the scene featuring Barclay as Otto. No, Otto as Barclay. Big McLarge as Picard. Myself as Professor Moriarty. Narrator is Stars and Garters.
Cripes, I gotta follow Shy's Picard.
I had like 4 lines in that whole scene.
We've got to follow Shy's everything. Like,
That's true.
Computer, access protected memory and run Moriarty program.
Professor, it's good to see you again.
if you'd missed my company, I should think you'd have summoned me before now.
I want to assure you that we've not forgotten you. We spent some time investigating how you became self-aware. Frankly, it still remains a mystery.
It is also irrelevant. What concerns me is finding a way to leave the holodeck.
We've been wrestling with that problem too, unfortunately without any success. But we have turned our findings over to Starfleet's most experienced theoretical scientists.
What did your friends come up with?
Unfortunately, they've not arrived at a solution either.
I see.
Professor, I'm concerned to learn that you experienced a passage of time while you were stored in the computer memory. I can assure you we had no idea that would be the case.
Enough of this. I no longer believe anything you say.
Professor, I understand your frustration.
Do you really? When this is over, you will walk out of this room to the real world and your own concerns, and leave me here trapped in a world I know to be nothing but an illusion. I cannot bear that. I must leave.
That is not possible. You cannot exist outside this room.
Are you certain of that?
Computer, exit.
The door opens onto the corridor.
Although an object appears solid on the holodeck, in the real world they have no substance.
Picard throws out a book. It vanishes.
An object has no life. I do.
Professor, you are a computer simulation.
I have consciousness. Conscious beings have will. The mind endows them with powers that are not necessarily understood, even by you. If my will is strong enough, perhaps I can exist outside this room. Perhaps I can walk into your world right now.
Professor, I ask you to believe me. If you step out of that door, you will cease to exist.
If I am nothing more than a computer simulation, then very little will have been lost. But if I am right, mind over matter. Cogito ergo sum.
Moriarty walks out into the corridor and does not disappear.
I think, therefore I am. See? Loving this.
Very good.
Oh, dry my throat out.
You need to get you playing more stodgy British men. Still.
Funny, because I am a stodgy British man. We laugh, but we're crying inside. Okay, our next scene is in a pale. I can't wait to see what. Oh no, Shy's not in this one, is he? No, right, okay. In a pale moonlight, the part of Cisco will be played by Automaton 2000. Bashir will be played by Bashir. Who's playing Bashir?
I think that must have been Shy then.
Okay.
Do you need me? Do you need me for this scene? Actually.
And we need a Bashir.
Well,
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Oh no, you do it. Yeah. Big, you do it.
Okay. Big is Bashir. Dax will be played by Frank. Worf will be played by Stars. I shall be playing Garak, and the narrator shall also be Stars.
And I'll do the one Vreenik line.
Yes.
That works. Cisco's quarters.
So all I could do was wait and see how masterful Tolar's forgery really was. So I waited, tried to catch up on my paperwork, but I found it very difficult to focus on criminal activity reports or cargo manifests. So I went back to pacing and staring out the window. I'm not an impatient man. I'm not one to agonize over decisions once they're made. I got that from my father. He always said, worry and doubt are the greatest enemies of a great chef. The souffle will either rise or it won't. There's not a damn thing you can do about it, so you might as well just sit back and wait and see what happens. But this time, the cost of failure was so high, I found it difficult to follow his advice.
Corridor.
If Renak discovered that the data rod was a forgery, if he realized that we were trying to trick them into war, it could push the Romulans even further into the enemy camp. They could start to openly help the Dominion. If worse came to worse, they could actually join the war against us. I had the distinct feeling that victory or defeat would be decided in the next few minutes.
Wardroom. Sisko enters. Vrenak dismisses his guards.
It's a fake!
Sisko's quarters.
So, it all blew up in my face. And all the lies and all the compromises, the inner doubts and rationalizations, all for nothing. Vrenak was furious. I can't say I blamed him. I'd have reacted the same way. After telling me in no uncertain terms that he would expose this vile deception to the entire Alpha Quadrant, he got back in his shuttle and headed home. There didn't seem to be anything more to do. So I went back to work. 2 days later, I got the news.
Wardroom.
No one for me today.
I had one. Maria Tatalia, wounded in action.
Friend?
Friend of a friend. I actually only met her once. I don't think she'd remember me.
A friend of a friend between the two of us. I know it sounds a bit strange, but I'd say we're off to a pretty good start today.
Captain, we have just received word from Starfleet intelligence that a Romulan shuttlecraft carrying a high-ranking senator has just been destroyed.
Which senator?
A senator of Renak. He was returning to Romulus from a diplomatic mission to Sakura when his shuttle exploded. The Tal Shiar are investigating, but preliminary report points to sabotage. They believe that the Dominion is responsible.
The Dominion assassinated a Romulan senator?
On a diplomatic mission.
That changes everything. It could even bring the Romulans into the war.
Excuse me.
Garrick's shop. Sisko the Thunder God storms in and hits Garrick, sending him flying.
You killed him!
That's right.
That's what you planned to do all along, isn't it? You knew the data rod wouldn't hold up to scrutiny. You just wanted to get him on the station so you could plant a bomb on his shuttle.
Oh, it wasn't quite that simple. I did have hopes that the rod would somehow pass inspection, but I suspected that Tolar may not have been up to the task.
What about Tolar? Did you kill him too?
Think of them both as tragic victims of war.
Sisko socks Garrick again.
If you'll allow your anger to subside for a moment, you'll see that they did not die in vain. The Romulans will enter the war.
There's no guarantee of that.
Oh, but I think there is. You see, when the Tal Shiar finishes examining the wreckage of Renak's shuttle, they'll find the burnt remains of a Cardassian optolithic data watch, which somehow miraculously survived the explosion. After painstaking forensic examination, they'll discover that the rod contains a recording of a high-level Dominion meeting at which the invasion of Romulus was being planned.
And then they'll discover that it is a fraud.
No, I don't think they will. Because any imperfections in the forgery will appear to be the result of the explosion. So, with a seemingly legitimate rod in one hand and a dead senator in the other, I ask you, Captain, what conclusion would you draw?
That's Vrenak obtained the rod on Sukara, and that the Dominion killed him to prevent him from returning to Romulus with it.
Precisely. And the more the Dominion protest they're innocent, the more the Romulans will believe they're guilty, because it's exactly what the Romulans were done in their place. And that's why you came to me, isn't it, Captain? Because you knew I could do the things that you weren't capable of. Well, it worked, and you'll get what you want. A war between the Romulans and the Dominion. And if your conscience is bothering you, you should soothe it with the knowledge that you may have just saved the entire Alpha Quadrant. And all it cost was the life of one Romulan senator, one criminal, and the self-respect of one Starfleet officer. I don't know about you, but I'd call that a bargain.
0800 hours, station time. The Romulan Empire formally declared war against the Dominion. They've already struck 15 bases along the Cardassian border. So, this is a huge victory for the good guys. This may even be the turning point of the entire war. There's even a welcome to the fight party tonight in the wardroom. So I lied. I cheated. I bribed men to cover the crimes of other men. I am an accessory to murder. But the most damning thing of all, I think I can live with it. And if I had to do it all over again, I would. Garrick was right about one thing. A guilty conscience is a small price to pay for the safety of the Alpha Quadrant. So I will learn to live with it. Because I can live with it.
Personal log.
I can live with it. Computer, erase that entire personal log.
And scene.
Bravo.
Bravo. I think we've got time to do one last more. One
That's
more.
real whiskey.
Okay. Time to do one more.
If you have any vocal cords left.
Yes. Any requests from you guys for which you want to do?
It's not my grave.
We haven't done a Voyager scene yet, and there is a Voyager scene right there.
Which one is the Voyager one?
The Marquee Way.
Oh, the Marquee Way.
The Mickey Way.
Should we finish on that?
You know what? That's on the chat side.
Oh, yeah.
Chat, you've got 1 minute to decide. You can have the insurrection. How many lives does it take? Dougherty Picard. You can have the Marquee Way scene from Voyager season 1, or you can have the root beer speech from Way of the Warrior. Make your
Wait, what
decisions
happened
now,
to-
or hold your peace.
Or
Julian
suggest
Bashir
anything.
destroys the world. Destroys the world.
We only have
no-
time for one scene.
Yeah.
Suggest anything from Star Trek 3 or Star Trek 4, and I can just
Oh, they're going for the
do it
root
Everyone
beer.
better.
says root beer, so
Oh boy. Okay. So this one.
Everyone wants the root beer.
This is me again.
Everyone wants root beer.
Yep.
Okay.
You nearly
Wow,
missed
we
out
have
on past
so many
prologue, and I had the
scenes
Wii
here.
music theme written there. But okay, this will be myself as Garrick again, although I did protest I played Garrick before, but everyone said fine. And Stars as Quark. Who wants to narrate as well? There's like one line.
I'll do it.
Might I trouble you for a glass of Canar?
Help yourself. It's on the house.
How uncharacteristically generous of you.
I'm in an uncharacteristic mood. Besides, I've got 80 cases of this stuff sitting in my stockroom, and the way things are going, I'll never unload another bottle unless it's to you.
How thoughtless of me not to consider the effects the destruction of my homeworld will have on your business. These must be trying times for you. Be brave.
I should have listened to my cousin Gala. He said to me, Quark, I've got one word for you. Weapons. No one ever went broke selling weapons. But I take his advice? No. And why not? Because I'm a people person. I like interacting with my customers, like you and I are doing right now. Talking to each other, getting to know one another.
I can see the attraction for you.
But when you're dealing in weapons, buyers aren't interested in casual conversation. They just want their merchandise, no questions asked. It's so impersonal.
Your charms would be wasted.
Exactly. So now, Gala owns his own moon, and I'm staring into the abyss. And the worst part is, my only hope for salvation is the Federation.
I know precisely how you feel.
I want you to try something for me.
He
pours a glass of foamy brown stuff.
It's a great
Oh, that's
chorus.
double narration. Yeah. Take a sip of this.
What is it?
A human drink. It's called root beer.
I don't know.
Come on. Aren't you just a little bit curious?
Garrick sips.
What do you think?
It's vile.
I know. It's so bubbly and cloying and happy.
Just like the Federation.
But you know what's really frightening? If you drink enough of it, you begin to like it.
It's insidious.
Just like the Federation.
Do you think they'll be able to save us?
I hope so.
Scene.
And scene.
Very
Thank you,
nice.
thank you.
Nicely done, everyone.
I shall retire from the part of character for now. Okay, we are going to jump over to the WRG server in just a tick. We will be playing a video. We'll be back very shortly. Please take a look at the
Auto has a
donation.
Otto has a thing.
Oh, go on, Auto.
Before we do that, we have a new top donator for the day, a huge contribution from Schuler, aka Scholar, who says, let's push these donations higher.
Oh my god.
And with that, now we're over 2,500 quotes.
Excellent.
Thank you,
You
everyone,
are-
for your
Thank you,
generosity.
Scholar.
Christ, well done,
You are
guys.
Amazing.
a
Amazing.
gentleman and a scholar.
We are, yeah, definitely. Right, we are
Scholar and a
going to,
gentleman.
we're going to go head over to WRG. We'll be back very soon.
Sorry to